Welcome back to Pipeline Trading. If you've been following the channel, you know we focus on structure, probabilities, and understanding what the charts are actually telling us, not chasing hype. Today's video is important because Bitcoin has just printed something extremely rare on the 3-day chart, a triple death cross. These signals don't happen often, but when they do, they tend to be violent. Historically, they've led to some of the most aggressive downside moves Bitcoin has ever experienced. The last time we saw this signal was back in 2022. Right after the triple death cross appeared, Bitcoin staged a small rally that gave traders hope the worst was over. Sentiment began to shift. People started believing the bottom was already in. But shortly after that rally, the market rolled over and crashed hard, pushing Bitcoin down into its surprise cycle bottom. But this pattern didn't start in 2022. If we go back another 4 years to 2018, the exact same setup appeared on the chart. A triple death cross formed on the 3-day time frame. The market bounced slightly, giving traders confidence that the correction was over. And then the crash came. A brutal sell-off that pushed Bitcoin down to roughly $3,000, completing the bear market. And if we go back even further to 2014, the story repeats again. Another triple death cross. Another short-term rally that convinced traders the recovery had begun. And then another sharp crash that drove Bitcoin into its ultimate bottom. So when we see this signal appear again today, it's something we need to take seriously. But there's an important detail most traders misunderstand about this setup. And this is the first clue hidden inside the chart. Most people believe that once a death cross appears, the market immediately collapses. But historically, that's not what happens. Instead, Bitcoin often performs one final rally after the signal appears. In 2014, we saw roughly a 10% bounce before the crash. In 2018, the market rallied and convinced traders the bottom had formed. And in 2022, Bitcoin surged nearly 16% before rolling over into the final leg down. Every time, the market creates a short window of optimism, a rally that pulls traders back in. And that rally becomes the trap. Because once sentiment begins rising again, the real move starts. Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger structure, because there's a second clue in this chart that's even more important. Across multiple Bitcoin cycles, the same sequence tends to appear near the end of the bull market. First, we form a double top. Then we see bearish divergence appear across higher time frames. After that, Bitcoin begins falling sharply until it reaches a major support level, what we can think of as the red line on this chart. Once price reaches that level, the market usually enters a period of consolidation. And during that consolidation phase, the triple death cross appears. This exact sequence played out in previous cycles. And right now, we're seeing a very similar structure develop again. We had the double top. We saw the bearish divergence. Price dropped aggressively towards support. And now, the triple death cross has formed. From a structural standpoint, this pattern looks remarkably familiar, which means the market could still have one final move down before this cycle finds its true bottom. Now I want to be clear about something. Nobody can predict the exact timing of that move. Some indicators suggest the window could open in March. Others point toward April. But the precise timing isn't the important part. What matters is understanding the pattern so you're prepared when the opportunity arrives. Because when the final leg down occurs, it will likely catch the majority of traders off guard, just like it did in 2014, just like it did in 2018, and just like it did in 2022. And here is the interesting part. When Bitcoin finally reaches that true bottom, most traders won't want to buy it. Sentiment will be extremely negative. The headlines will be calling for even lower prices, and the majority of participants will be waiting for more downside. But historically, those moments of maximum fear have often been the best buying opportunities of the entire cycle. So the goal isn't to perfectly predict every move. The goal is to understand how these market cycles unfold and position yourself accordingly, because markets operate on probabilities. And right now, the chart is showing us a signal that has only appeared 3 times before in Bitcoin's history, a triple death cross. If the pattern repeats again, we may see one more rally first, a moment where traders start believing the bottom is already in, and then the move that surprises the entire market. Now before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something. We're not chasing hype. We're learning how to read the charts and understand how markets really move. If you found this helpful and want more breakdowns like this, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay connected. As always, stay disciplined, trade with intention, and God bless.